Lindsay was the star witness for the prosecution against R. Kelly in 2008. Lindsay was the star witness against R. Kelly in his 2008 trial. She got on the stand, gave sworn testimony that she knew Rashana. She drove her to school. She drove her home. She went to get food for her. She was 100% certain it was Robert and it was Rashana in the tape. No one can tell you what you saw. No one can tell you what you remember. No one can tell you what you believe. And no one can tell you who you identify and what someone looks like to you. Those are all subjective realizations. They didn't force you to say that because they couldn't have. If you looked at a tape, you could have very easily said, that doesn't look like Robert to me. That doesn't look like Rashana to me. If all of this bullshit that you wrote February 8th, God only knows what year, probably 5 years ago, if any of that was true, if this man meant anything to you, your response would have been, that does not look like Rashana to me. That does not look like Robert to me. I don't believe that's either one of them. And there's nothing they could have done about that, because what you see is subjective to you. What you know is subjective to you. They couldn't force you to say it was her, so you had to do that volitionally. You volunteered that information. There was nothing stopping you from saying, that doesn't look like Robert to me. Nah, that doesn't look like Rashana to me. Why didn't you say, I don't recognize anyone in this video? I don't recognize the man. I don't recognize the female. And there's nothing they could have done with that. Nobody can tell you what you recognize. Robert had a trial in New York City. There were hundreds of media out there every single day, especially for his sentencing. Why didn't they Robert had a trial in New York that lasted 6 weeks. He had press, national and international, outside that courthouse every single day. Hundreds of media outlets, especially when he was sentenced. Why didn't the twins fly, drive, take a megabus to get to New York and talk to the press and say how many people they knew that were lying? Drea, Lisa Van Allen, Rashana. What stopped them from doing that? You didn't see them in the New York trial. There was a bank of reporters, news people, outside of the Illinois trial for over a month. They were there every day, all day. Why didn't these two fly, drive, take a megabus, and stand in front of that media and say, my story is different. I've changed my mind. They had me watch a film over and over, and I was brainwashed by what they showed me. I do not believe that was Robert. I do not believe that was Rashana. And you could have said that to the media outside of the courthouse any day that they were in Chicago, but especially the days that Rashana was testifying. You didn't do that. Since then, you haven't come out and said, I changed my story. You said they showed me the tape and then they asked me to testify, but you never said you got it wrong. You never said I really didn't recognize them. You never said it's not Robert, it's not Rashana. So you were never trying to help him, because when you help someone, you help them with the most difficult task. Why didn't you come out and say something when Joanne spoke? You could have said, I don't believe it. I've seen Drea. She has a history of mental illness. Joanne has a history of mental illness. Neither one of you said anything to help this man for the New York trial, the Illinois trial, when Rashana did that TV show. I've done 50 videos talking about Drea. I've done at least 10 on Joanne when she came out with that statement. To add balance and to add clarity so that this man was not killed while he was in jail. Neither of you said shit. You didn't open your fucking mouths until this went viral, him doing Chris Brown's song. And now you want to hop on the train and act like you're really for him. No, you're not, because you didn't lift a fucking finger to help when he really needed it. And I didn't say post this bullshit. I said go live, you and your sister, and both of you say you don't believe that was Rashana. You don't believe Joanne's story. You don't believe Drea. If you're not willing to do that, you're not willing to help. So stop with this bullshit.